Hey, Tony Gas is here. Y'all gotta forgive me. I got my light down low today. Eyes a little sensitive. Was out with my son fishing, and that sunlight all day. But I wanted to pop in for a little quick Sunday sermon. I'm still smelling fishy, but we getting ready for a soccer game tonight. A little local, not local, but it's a professional soccer team that they won. Not won, but they're in the championship tonight. So been fishing all day, and now I'm finna go to the soccer game. You got to live. You got to live. But I wanted to pop in. It was something I was thinking about, and one of the things that is kind of a gift and a curse for me, and I don't know if it's the case for you, but being a giver, it's a gift. But when you get to the place and you got to evaluate your heart, you got to evaluate your life, and you got to make sure. And I made this mistake over and over and over, to where you give from the wrong place, and you give for your ego, or you give for the applause, or you give for to get to receive, not to receive, but really it's just that fleeting moment of that thank you or you're amazing. And you can't give for those reasons. And I made that mistake over and over. And the thing about it is, when you're a giver like that, a lot of times we give, and we're not giving because we want to give. We're giving because of the high we get from the praise from the gift. And you can always notice this when you get something for somebody, for like a birthday or a holiday, and you want to give it to them before that day. And you so ready for them to open it. You're so ready for them to open it. And a lot of times, and then if they don't jump up and down or give the reaction that you want, you may get offended. And I've seen that with givers, people who will give, but the gift is for the wrong reason. And it's one of the things that I realize is, when you are different, when you got a heart that's different, when you do for people differently, and you give to people differently. For one, you cannot expect gratitude. I was listening to a book one time, and it said gratitude is a learned behavior. It's something that has to be taught, that it does not come natural. And so that if you're waiting for gratitude from humans, you will always be disappointed. And some people don't realize that, and some people don't believe that. But I've seen this in my own life. Like, I bought several family members cars, and I will hear thank you a lot of times. I will hear thank you, but you really hear thank you, one time, two times. But imagine, and so you're not doing it for that, but you would think that if somebody did it for you, like, it's this one family that we took them to a suite at a soccer game, and they sent us something for it. This other family, I think we took them to a suite, and they made us a custom made clock. They make woodwork and stuff. They made a clock. And we did another suite at a soccer game a couple weeks ago or last weekend. And the other family who got us something for the last time we took them to a suite, they sent us something else. I saw the card in the mail. I need to open it. And that's what I mean by gratitude. Whereas that's something they learn over time. It's something their parents taught them to. If somebody do something for you, you send a thank you card, or you send a little token of your appreciation. Whereas I have family members that I bought cars for, and they'll say thank you, but you would think that if somebody received a whole car, like cash money purchase, $35,000, $40,000 cash money, that they would take and write a handwritten card, or do something that's a dozen of roses to my wife for her approving the purchase. But you hear a thank you, it's a heartfelt thank you, and that's about the gist of it. Now, it's nothing, and I remember saying this before, and somebody was like, oh, well, I don't give to get, and I don't give to receive, and all of that. And that's not the point of it. The point is that we have to understand that gratitude is not in people's nature unless they're taught that. And so today, it was a family that took us on a boat, their friend's boat, and it was a big boat, and it was me and Tatum and I. And we caught some exotic fish, and we just fresh fish. And they took us on a boat. The captain, after we caught the fish, he filleted the fish. He filleted the fish, and I brought home, it was called hog fish, gray snapper, red snapper, and gag grouper. Fresh fish. And we just cooked some in the pan. We cooked some in the air fryer. Different ways, you know, different little seasonings. And it was amazing. Well, when I got ready to, when I was going, I stopped. And I knew it'd be two people on there on the boat. I had taken $300 out the ATM just to have some cash on me. And I was going to tip 100. But when I heard it was going to be two people on there, a captain and another captain, or like an assistant, I took out 200. And when the captain and I walked away privately, and he was getting me some ice to put in my fish bag, I gave him the $200. I said, hey, this just for some drinks for you and your partner. And just kept it real simple. So I'm pretty sure he probably thought it was $20, $40 because I said it's for some drinks, meaning like some beers or something. And he said, oh, thank you so much. He did not say, oh, no, I'm paid so well. Oh, no, the family got me paid. I'm just in the lap of luxury. No, I don't need that. He said, thank you. Because people want to be appreciated. People want, he didn't ask for a tip. They didn't have a sign that said, tip me. They didn't have a bucket that said, tips are welcome. None of that. Like they have in the islands and different places you go where they got that big sign that say, tip your crew, tips are welcome. He didn't ask for no kind of tip. But he accepted the tip, and I would have been hurt if he didn't accept it. And I learned from Zig Ziglar that we got to learn to accept our praise. Because I used to also turn down blessings, but it was false. It was out of ego. It was out of arrogance, and I would turn down blessings. And my barber, he used to do the same thing. And I started telling him, I said, listen, bro, stop blocking your blessing, because you don't know how God getting a blessing to you. And it's not even about you. It's also about the giver. So when somebody is instructed to give, when we give, we have to realize that the praise and the repayment, all of that, anything that will come from that gift does not come from the person we're giving to. It comes from God. And when you get to the place that you give from your heart, when and how you want to give, when you feel an unction of the Spirit that says give, and then you okay with that gift. You okay with that gift. And you don't expect anything in return. You take note on human behavior. That's what I take note of. And what I realize now about giving, and this is the thing, is for one, you can't give from ego. Two, you can't give to receive. But then three, I remember what a guy told me one time. He said, money is poor motivation because you cannot eat it. Meaning, he was like, it's not food. That when you give somebody money, you giving them something that's almost meaningless. Meaning, it will more likely destroy them than help them. And when I've given people money, it has come back in ways that I wasn't appreciative of. It's come back in ways that they ask for more money and more money and more money. Very rarely do I give somebody money or an experience and then they say, wow. And they get motivated and they go lose weight. They go get new knowledge. They go start a business. They go build their brand. I got one homeboy that has kicked it in overdrive, and it had nothing to do with me. But he's seen some of my life and come to my suites at the NBA and the NFL suites, and, seen, luxury, and seen blessings, and seen peace and prosperity, my marriage, my kids. He's seen that. And for him, being invited to certain things, he would always say, man, hey, boy, you pushing me, or you motivating me. Boy, I'm finna be up here with you. I'm finna have me a suite at the stadium too. And guess what? He kept going, and now he done created another business, and I believe it's gonna make him a millionaire. But that's one person out of the countless people that I've seen this. And I remember when my business partner took me to a suite, the reason why, and this ain't about material things, understand what I'm saying with this, and don't miss the message. It's some small-minded people that you got to, one, get out that small mindset and stop and understand that people who call, we speak in parables, the way Jesus spoke in parables. So nothing is what it seems. It's not talking about this literal thing. You got to get the message from it, but that take discretion. So if you carnal minded, meaning that you're not walking with God yet, then just listen, just be quiet, because it's not going to make sense to you. Like the Bible tell you, spiritual things not going to make sense right away to a carnal mind. You got to be of a spiritual mind to understand things in the spiritual realm. So understand that. And to the believers, that's why we instructed not to argue with people who don't believe and who don't agree. You can't argue with people because everybody not going to understand everything. This ain't for everybody. This is a language that ain't everybody going to speak. So understand that. But on the other side of giving is you got to make sure that you good ground. That when you receive, you pray for the person that gave to you, but you also make sure that this gift is planted and it's watered and it's nurtured so that it bears fruit. And when my partner took me to a courtside NBA game and to the suite at the NFL game and put me on a private jet and put me on a 200-foot yacht, he showed me the level of life that could be lived on earth. Not just living in misery, waiting on heaven, but to understand that what is freed in heaven could be freed on earth. What's unlocked in heaven could be unlocked on earth. And that God can give, that the Bible says God will grant you the desires of your heart. Meaning that we have to get out of the mindset of being downtrodden, broke, busted, and disgusted. Looking like who shot John and forgot to kill him. Because who want to serve your God if they can't see peace on you? If you always stressed and you always worried and you always negative Nancy and doubting Dan and, toxic Tom, then who want to get to know your God? If you scarcity minded and you stingy and you gossip and you backbite, who want to get to know your God? So we also have to be good recipients of blessings, of gifts, and we got to pray blessings. So when somebody gives to me, I got to a place to where I realized, like, if somebody gives me something, it may not be something that I like physically need. Like, hey, I'm short $10. Like it's somebody who will cash out me $1. They know that $1 is not going to put me in the lap of luxury. It's not about the amount. It's like the lady in the Bible who gave the 2 pence, the 2 pennies basically. And that was all that she had. And the parable says that her gift was greater than those who gave 20 pence and 100 pence, because based on where she gave it from, she gave 2 out of a little bit. They gave 20 out of a whole lot. So you see what I'm saying? So somebody give $1, somebody send $5, $10. The person knows that that's not a life-changing offering. but they understand seed time and harvest. They understand what a gift represents. They understand that that gift will take root and bring forth a harvest, not only in my life, but in their life. And so it's two sides of giving. It's the giver and the receiver. So when you giving, you got to make sure you giving with a glad heart from the right place for the right reasons. And we have to stop giving out of ego. We got to stop giving out of pride. We got to stop giving for reciprocation. We got to stop giving for praise. And the gift has to be a gift unto God. So one of the mistakes we make is when we give. And so what I'm sharing with you, like the tip, that's not a gift. That man did a whole lot of work. But it's a tip. It's like an offering almost. But I'm sharing that with you so you could paint a picture. You may say, well, hey, I'm not 200. No, I can't do that right now because of my bills or what have you, or my income. But 200 is it's a lot of money to me. That's a lot of dollars. Don't think that wasn't no stretch now. That's a lot. That's a whole lot now. But I did it because I understood the magnitude of the gift that they were giving me. Now, the family, I took them to the soccer suite and to the NFL suite, and this is what they did in return for us. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't just receive, but they say, let me find a way to give back. And so that is when you're a pure giver. And now the worker, they worked as if they were working unto the Lord, the captain. And he went above and beyond in what he was doing. Good energy, good attitude. He wasn't rude. He wasn't condescending. He wasn't lazy. He didn't cut corners. He went above and beyond. So he just did the work. And guess what? When you do the work, the blessing gonna come. The blessing gonna show up. He didn't ask for no tip. He could have had a bad attitude. He could have been lazy. He could have cut corners. He could have made me feel stupid about not knowing everything about fishing. He could have, just ignored me. He could have been like, he ain't paid for this boat. This ain't his setup, his connection. He just a guest. He could have treated me like crap, but he didn't. And the hogfish, that's what we was trying to catch. He says some people live their whole life and never catch one. I didn't catch one. You know who caught 2 of them? My 7-year-old son. By himself. Caught 2 of them. Out there, reeled it in, everything. And it was big enough to where we could keep them. If it's not big enough, you got to throw it back. It's illegal to keep it. Big enough to where we could keep them. So they were big. And I got a picture. I put it in my story on Instagram. But my son caught them. And even with that, see, now, y'all got to forgive me. I'm about to cry. Y'all got to forgive me. Because, see, I'm so spiritual in the sense of I believe in God so much that I believe God opened the mouth of that fish to come bite my son bait and not mine. Because he knew he needed it for his faith, for his morale, for his self-esteem. He knew he needed it. Now, some people don't believe like that. But just like in the Bible, when they was fishing and they didn't catch nothing, then when Jesus got on the boat, he said, cast your net on the right side. And they came up with a net was so full, they couldn't even pull it in the boat. They just had to ride with it beside the boat and just let it float in the water till they got to the shore. And see, I believe God on that level. And I'm going to tell you, my life and what God has blessed me with, the things that money can't buy and the things that money can buy, the peace or what have you, that money can't buy, a happy marriage and good sons. I believe that is also an example of the way I believe God. I believe God for peace. I believe God for that what he says in his word is true. And I hold on to that. Because the Bible say that he is not a man that he should lie. And so I believe, God, that even in the temptation and the tough times, the bad times, that there will be a way of escape and that things going to work out. I believe that. And I encourage you to believe it because I've seen it happen. But our mind can limit us. And so your mind can save you or your mind can hinder you. I got sick on the boat and I could have threw up, but I told myself I'm healed. I said, no, you healed. You all right. You healed. You good. You all right. I was so ready to throw up. It was about to come up. It was about to come up. I had to change my mindset. And I taught my 7-year-old that lesson about the mind. And he came and taught it to his mama. Mom, Daddy got sick on the boat, but he said he told himself, I'm healed. I'm healed. And his mind told himself that he was all right. And so he didn't throw up. And so I do that all the time. I get a headache, I get a cold or what have you, and I speak healing. I speak healing. And whatever process I got to go through, I'm speaking healing. So even though that cold not gone in one day or the headache not gone in a minute, I'm at peace going through the process. And I believe the process is cut short. I believe that the process, it ain't the same process that a non-believer has. It ain't the same amount of time, or it ain't as severe. It ain't as draining. It ain't as tough as a non-believer or a toxic thinker may have. And that's what I believe, God. And so, see, you have to understand that you have to get in a place to where your heart and your mind is in right standing with the Lord. And now I'm bouncing all around now because a lot of lessons in this here got to be unpacked. So when you giving, it got to be pure. When you receiving, it got to be pure. And here's the key. This is what I want you to remember. And your life going to be forever changed. Look to be a blessing instead of being blessed. Look to be a blessing instead of being blessed. My wife called me and now she texts me, but the Lord moving right now. So I know if she really need me, she'll call me again. And that's just love. It's like she finna be back in a few minutes and she texting, calling, and just be, oh yeah, and she'll just tell me something random. Oh, you know, I just saw this nice Christmas light set up. And that's just love. But see, that's when a woman at peace. And I'm gonna tell you what the Lord told me the other day. Y'all gotta forgive me now because I'm getting ready to go in a little bit. Let me tell you what the Lord told me the other day. My wife, we was at the game. We was in the Bahamas watching the basketball. And when the music come on, my wife kept bumping me. She dancing, she bumping me, she dancing, she bumping me. And she was getting on my nerves. And I was about to say, baby, stop. Babe, stop. I do not. What is you doing? But that would have hurt her feelings. And the Lord quickened my spirit and he said, listen, this is the sign of a joyous wife. This is the payment. This what your wife does when she at peace, when she happy. Well done, my good and faithful servant. So now remember my word, be slow to anger. Remember my word, love her as Christ loved the church. You want her blemish and spot free. So when she cheery and she giving you a wedgie and she booty bumping you and she playful and she all over you, know that that is her peace and that's her happiness. Because if your attitude wrong and you talk to her wrong and you mistreat her, she'll be silent. She won't hardly speak to you. She'll be right beside you and you'll be able to cut the tension with a butter knife because she don't really want to be there. But when she overly happy and she overly playful, that lets you know that she's happy and she's in love. And the Lord reminded me of that. And I said, okay. And I just put up with it. I just let her keep doing what she was doing, and I just woosah, because I'm not a playful person. I'm shy and I'm quiet. And then she yelling, she's standing up, she yelling, she going on and on and on. And the Lord said, just let her be. Just let her be. It's her. And he said, you want to say something to her, but you don't realize the white man right there doing the same thing and worse. this other white man over there, and you ain't got a problem with them, but because she your wife, you want to chastise or say something to her about being loud and, cheering. He said, let her be. Let her be. She happy. She having fun. She loving this. That's what you want. So I said, okay. So you see, the overall message, this was about giving at first, but the overall message is still what I've been harping on these Sunday sermons is your heart's position and making sure that you're sensitive to the Spirit. So I'm going to tell you where I'm at right now. Woo! I hate to tell you this. Where I'm at right now, and I thank the Lord for it, but where I'm at right now is, listen, if you grown, and you got a job, I ain't got it for you. If I done did for you, if I done gave you money, gave you cars, gave you opportunities, gave you luxuries, and it ain't changed your life. You have not planted and watered the seed. You have not prayed for increase. You have not changed your life. You have not stopped listening to that ratchet music. You have not stopped eating like a pig in slop. You have not stopped being jealous and envious. You have not stopped competing. You have not stopped living for the adversary. Guess what? I ain't got it for you. You know why? Because you bad ground. And so the Lord has shown me you was giving, but you was giving out of order. I did not instruct you to give in that way. But I do something random, like when the sister was in the Blessed Business Tribe and she commented, and I saw that, and I looked at her page and saw that she was at 242 subscribers, but had a great page. I do something random, free of charge. And I know it's some devilish people that probably thought I was trying to court her to get her in bed or trying to flirt with her by supporting her. But God put that on my spirit. They say, be a blessing. And I will see somebody who look like they doing the same thing. And God will say, their spirit ain't right. Their spirit ain't right. Their heart ain't right. That ain't good ground. And so you have to be sensitive to the Spirit. You got to be sensitive to the Spirit. And when you sensitive to the Spirit, you're going to see. And sometimes we do stuff for our will and we do it our way. And then we realize we just sowed seed on bad ground. And so we flushed it down the toilet. There's a young lady, she came to me and she said, Tony, I don't know what's going on, but she said it's something on your life. This is what she said. And I pray that if things don't always go the same way, that she still understand that, okay, God may have a lesson for her in that too. But she said, Tony, anytime I have given to you, God found a way to get it right back to me. And I have experienced that in my life. I was given, and I was given to needs. But then sometimes need turned to greed. People could be in need, and when you meet their need, then they need become greed because now their needs met, and now they got wants. And that's when you got to, hold on now. God ain't called me to meet your wants. God called me to meet needs. God called me to be supplemental income. Hey, baby. Baby, you need something from me? I'm shooting a sermon. Okay, good. Okay, good. When I need to be done with this? When I need to be done with this? 10 minutes? Okay. My battery just showed up, so I'll be done. Y'all gotta forgive me now. We gotta get ready to the soccer game. I'm stinking. I need to take my shower. I'm going dirty. I remember I want to stand in that cold breeze with my pores open, so I got to go smelling like fish. So listen to me now. that need could become greed. And so what we have to be is sensitive to the spirit. It's a man who blessed me. And God used this man, and this man barely believe in God. Like, not really no holy roller, no real, not really there, because he got a lot of money. And God used this man to bless me. And just out the blue one day, it said to me, something in my spirit say, hey, be thoughtful and get him a little something. A little something that could be utilized. And I got him a little something. And this other thing, and not being a holy roller, I got him a humidifier. It's like a little cigar cutter, because every now and then he'll smoke him a little cigar, celebratory. But it's really just a keepsake. He don't really smoke. And so he just clip the end of the cigar. And I got that because he got everything. And it had his initials on it. So it was just something thoughtful. I ain't selling him a Bible. You see what I'm saying? That's the other thing, is when you fisher of men, when God called you to be a fisher of men, you got to know what kind of bait to use. So you can't just be out here just hitting people across the head with the Holy Bible. And the word say, and the word say, and the word say. You can't reach nobody like that. You got to know how to get in with people. You got to know it's different types, different forms of ministry. So sometimes me bringing men to my suite, that right there speak to men, because it's football, it's luxury, it's success. So it's secular men who curse like sailors, but I know them. I grew up with them. And they see that, and it make them inquire within. How do we come from the same place and you got this and I don't? You see what I'm saying? That's ministry, because then they examine my life. And they say, oh, I do this, you don't do this. I do this, you don't do this. I do this, you don't do this. You believe in this, I don't believe in that. You live like this, I don't live like that. So now they start to see the choices I've made, the sacrifices I've made, the walk that I walk. And they start to see a correlation of where there's sacrifice, there will be reward. And so that's what you got to understand. Your heart has to be, you daily, you have to consecrate your heart. Daily, you have to evaluate your heart. The gentleman today, I'm not in competition with anybody, but this gentleman that I was with today, he got a beautiful house in one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in our city. And to have that house alone is more than enough. Then today he invited me to his beach house, and that beach house is beautiful. And on top of just the beach house, he got a pool behind the beach house. It's on the water, and he got a boat back there. That's $100,000 boat. So just between the two houses and the boat, we talking 2.5, 3 million. And so, listen, my heart could have been jealous. My heart could have been in competition. My heart could have been, well, let me flex and show what I got. Let me say what I got. Let me brag about my connections. Let me brag about what I got. Let me brag about this, brag about that. And to compete. And the Lord say, Tony, you go in there just a humble. That captain on that boat should not know you got anything. He should not know that you got anything, that you anybody. He should not know nothing. He ought to feel like you was a charity case for this man. That this man plucked you up off out the hood to give you a Make-A-Wish Foundation fishing trip. This man, he should not, it ain't got to come out by how many supporters online or how, what kind of success, how many businesses you own, how many streams. Humility. And then just praise them. Praise their house. Woo, this amazing. Woo, this amazing. And genuinely mean it. And so I went into this space to where I was not in competition and I was not in jealousy. Because I know if God got that for me, I ain't got no beach house. But if God got that for me, then he got that for me. And if God ain't got that for me, he ain't got that for me. But I ain't gonna want what somebody else got if it ain't for me. And what God showed me on this, Tony, you don't want no boat. And you can't drive no boat. Let me drive the boat. And you can't handle no boat. And you don't want the headache that come with a boat. Tony, you don't like the headache you got with your one house. You don't want no beach house. So see, the Lord gave me peace in where I'm at. But see, so often we go into a spirit and a heart set of jealousy and a heart set of competition, heart set of greed instead of need. You see what I'm saying? And see, a lot of stuff that when God pour out, see, when you give, it's going to be given back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So what I mean is you're going to end up with stuff you ain't even asked for. You're going to end up with stuff you don't even need. But it's because you wasn't fixated on it. You wasn't focused on it. It don't define you. It don't define you. That man wrecked my collectible. I could have flew off the handle, cursed him out, went off, been a jerk about it. Oh, your insurance gonna pay for this. Made him feel terrible about it. I said, it's all right, man. I said, it's all right. I say, man, hey, today I hope you see my Christian values. And he said, Tony, I did see that. And that right there is ministry. I wanted him to know that the peace you see me with is the peace of Christ. It ain't me. It's the peace of Christ. And that's what people got to realize, that when they around you, they got to feel a love of Christ. Like tonight, I got a suite at the soccer game we going to. I got 40 tickets. I got 15 left. And I couldn't even give them all away. But when these people come, it's all they could eat, all they could drink. And yeah, I'm a Christian, but they got beers in there. I ain't gonna judge them because it's a beer. It ain't cocaine. You see what I'm saying? And so now they realize, okay, he's not judgmental. Although he kind of preach like a pastor sometimes, he's not judgmental. He meet me where I am. He don't look at me like a heathen because I drink a Bud Light. And see, it's going to be a different kind of ministry. But it got to be your peace with God. Because everybody ain't called to the ministry I'm called to and minister in the way I minister. You might not be able to go in that, in the waters. You might not be called to that because you might be in that drunk. But I was there at the suite last week. Talking about bills, I ain't have a single beer. And I had no desire for a beer. I had me a Coca-Cola now. But that's the thing. God might not call the other man in here into his suite with beer in his suite because he might be tossing them bike, and next thing you know, he grabbing another man's wife booty. You see what I'm saying? Everybody ain't going to be called to the same ministry. But you got to understand that when God will use you, people going to see and they're going to feel a love. And they're going to say, why does this guy do this? Because he's not squirting champagne. He not popping off on Instagram about what he did. He ain't showing and telling everybody, hey, I got a suite for 40 people. He not bragging. When he share it, it's in ministry for the like-minded Christians who need to learn how to walk like Christ and be a blessing like Christ. Do you realize that a lot of the people who ate from those 5 fish and 2 loaves of bread was atheists? A lot of the people who ate, everybody who ate that food wasn't no believer. A lot of them gonna open their eyes in hell. A lot of them probably, some of them could have been in the crowd when Jesus was getting crucified. You see what I'm saying? But he supped with sinners and people of different walks. The adulterous woman talked to her, spoke life into her. And so you have to understand this and get to that place. I got to go now because I'm 10 minutes. So listen, evaluate your heart. And if you giving, make sure you giving for the right reasons and from the right place. And if you receiving, make sure you praying over that blessing and you praying for the giver. And it ain't got to be monetary. It could be service. It could be a video. It could be a book. It could be a helping hand. It ain't got to be money. So, hey, understand this. It's Tony Gasson. God bless him. I'm finna go in here smelling like fish and put me another outfit on. We'll talk soon.